Hey guys, it's Destiny, and today we're going to be going over Topaz and how to prepare for her release with pre-farming suggestions for relics, materials to keep in mind, and I'll also discuss my thoughts on her future value as well. If you guys enjoy videos like these, make sure to subscribe and also leave a like to increase your chances of pulling Topaz and Numby. I've heard from my community I'm pretty good at blessing their pulls, and let me know in the comments down below if you guys are also excited about Topaz. Without further ado though, let's get straight into it. I wanted to go over Topaz's kit from what we know officially for those who aren't too sure what she does. Topaz is a Fire Hunt character who has a far different approach than our other DPS characters. She is a follow-up centric character, which means practically all of her attacks are considered follow-up attacks, which by the way, Numby is the follow-up. Numby steals the show away with its attacks and also dealing damage to enemies. Topaz is able to inflict proof of debt onto an enemy when it's her turn if the enemy does not have proof of debt, or she can use her skill on them and then pick which enemy will have proof of debt inflicted onto them. Proof of debt, which sheesh, when Topaz comes out, she's definitely going to make me go into debt, but proof of debt is a debuff that goes onto an enemy, which in the live stream shows that it's unremovable. And this debuff makes enemies take more follow-up damage from Topaz herself, but also other teammates due to the fact that it's a debuff. So I can't wait to see the spin to win shenanigans with this one. The only downside of it is that it's single target, but ideally you'll want to put this on a stronger enemy on the field so that they take way more damage dealt to them with the proof of debt inflicted onto them. Characters that benefit from this is any character with follow-up attacks, since as I said, Topaz does not exclusively take advantage of the debuff, due to the fact that it's a debuff to the enemy rather than a buff to Topaz herself, which means all characters on the team can kick the enemy's butt and punish them with their follow-up attack, Wrath. Plus, Topaz can buff herself up with her ultimate, which buffs up Numby's damage and crit damage, which means even more damage potential from Topaz herself. In the live stream, it showed that Numby will be advanced forward when a teammate does a follow-up attack onto an enemy that has proof of debt. The nice thing about this is that Numby will now be advanced, which means Numby will be able to attack more. And when the ultimate is triggered, now any attack will allow Numby to go forward, which allows Numby to kind of just go zoom with how many times Numby will probably be able to attack. And from what it looks like in the live stream, it looks like there will be 2 enhanced follow-up attacks that Numby will be able to do with the ultimate's buffs. Numby is a little rock star for sure. Oh, and also Topaz's technique allows Numby to find treasure, get more credits, which allows you to do infinite money glitch, and also find other trotters. Overall though, a super cool hybrid-like kit that supports the team herself and also her own potential to be pretty good overall. I would love to know what you guys think about Topaz's hybrid-like playstyle that allows her to, in a sense, be a sub-DPS, a follow-up supporter on the team, and so on. As for pre-farming though, I have multiple suggestions for preparing for Topaz and Numby. I would recommend starting your pre-farming as soon as you see this video, as Jingli Yu's banner has a bit less than 2 weeks remaining now, so by the time Topaz is here, you should be good to go. I recommend first getting her materials, which is her level up materials, the new boss material that 1.4 introduced. The live stream stated that this material will be Topaz's material, so you'll also need that. You'll need hunt trace materials due to the fact that Topaz is hunt, and also enough credits to ensure you can level up Topaz as much as possible. For a comparison for all level 8 talents versus level 10, level 80 as well, here's the amount of trace material difference you'll be looking at, which is quite a lot to say the least. If the amount for level 10 is a bit too high for your liking, and you rather build other characters' traces as well, then I would just aim for level 8 traces for the most part, as those get the job done really good. As for what weekly to farm, since all the new characters have been getting the new weekly boss, it's very likely Topaz is no different to that. As for relics, the main ones that come to mind is Musketeer of Wild Wheat and Firesmith of Lava Forging. Firesmith of Lava Forging is great for the fire damage increases, and Musketeer is great for the attack increases and more speed. A two-piece though could be a great consideration for a two-piece Numby combo. As if for planar sets, the Inert Salcedo is likely one of the best choices for the extra crit rate to crit more often with Numby, and also increase the follow-up damage when you are at 50% crit rate. That Numby now has that 15% follow-up damage increase, plus also the proof of debt inflicted onto the enemy And then also when you have the buff the ultimate, this could be pretty good overall. Another choice can be the space set for more attack, but the inert set will likely be your best bet. As for light cones, we don't know what her signature light cone fully does. This will get its own video, as I do like to go over the light cone just to see what it may provide value wise. But for just brainstorming purposes, I think light cones that benefit follow up damage or crit rate, crit damage, and so on could be your best bet. So I'm personally thinking as maybe alternatives to the signature depending on what that does. Cruising in the Stellar Sea for the crit rate, sword play might be really good, since if you're targeting the same target with Numby because of the proof of death, this will be really good, I feel like, for possibly gaining all the damage increases with this light cone and being able to stack them until of course you do have to change targets. And Return to the Darkness can also be good for the crit rate increases, but these are just my initial thoughts on what light cones can possibly be good options. I'll update you guys more on that once we know Topaz's traces and also what her light cone fully entails, so we know fully, well, this is what the light cone does in comparison to the other light cone options we have so far for hunt characters. Lastly, I wanted to go over team concepts and also the future value of Topaz. When it comes to team concepts, due to Topaz's follow-up attack-centric playstyle and synergy, you'll want to pair her up with a follow-up attacker. I'm sure a buffer, debuffer, and sustain will be able to get the job done overall. Topaz can be a secondary DPS on the team alongside whoever the main follow-up attacker is. As for future value, Topaz and Numby seem pretty good when it comes to follow-up characters being buffed from their skill kit. And overall, her hybrid-like kit from what we've seen so far brings an interesting twist to how DPS characters, especially hunt characters, are normally. So when it comes to her value, she does look pretty good, and I'm very interested to see more information on her once we get that. And I'd love to know, what do you guys think about the future of Topaz based on what we know so far? Do you guys think she'll be maybe a game changer for follow-up teams? Or do you guys think she'll be nice or a decent addition only? Would you possibly put her on your Jing Yuan team, or would you rather possibly keep what you already have? These are things to definitely consider when it comes to Topaz as to what she'll do when it comes to team comps. But that'll be all for my pre-farming recommendations when it comes to Topaz. I will be releasing more videos on Topaz this week and next week, and also discussing Guinaifen, as I have quite a lot of thoughts about her as well. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe, leave a like to support the video, and like always, I hope you all have a great one. Peace.